Depression is a difficult and frequently isolated experience, but music has a special ability to reach places within us that even words and words alone are not always capable of reaching. There are certain songs that have the ability to operate almost like emotional medication. This could be because they provide the solace of being understood, the release of tears, or the gradual rekindling of hope. Here is a list of 10 songs that have been discovered to be extremely healing by a large number of listeners during difficult times. 1. Black Dog, Arlo Parks. In this soft, intimate track, Arlo Parks captures the feeling of watching someone you love struggle with depression and feeling helpless. But instead of offering empty platitudes or quick fixes, she simply stays with them in their pain. Her lyrics paint a quiet, detailed portrait of someone slowly slipping under the weight of mental illness. And there's something incredibly comforting about how gently she holds that space. The song doesn't scream or dramatize. It whispers as if afraid to break the person it's speaking to. In doing so, it creates a feeling of companionship that's both warm and grounding. It feels like someone gently sitting next to you when you can't speak. 2. Sad Forever, Lauv. Sad Forever is a deeply personal track where Lauv shares his struggles with mental illness, including OCD and anxiety, in a tone that feels both raw and strangely uplifting. He wrote it in a moment of crisis, but instead of being weighed down by darkness, the song pushes upward, longing for the sun, for peace, for a break from the relentless noise of the mind. Lauv doesn't sugarcoat what it feels like to be caught in the storm of your thoughts, but he also doesn't stop there. There's an aching kind of hope woven through the beat and melody, like someone trying to find the light switch in a dark room. And when he sings about not wanting to be sad forever, it doesn't feel naive, it feels brave. 3. Way Less Sad, AJR. With Way Less Sad, AJR manages to balance humor, honesty, and optimism in a way that feels incredibly real for anyone who's ever tried to claw their way out of a dark period. The song doesn't pretend that everything is fine. It proudly celebrates the small victories, like just being less sad than before. It's a realistic kind of healing anthem that gives you permission to not have it all figured out. There's a cheerful defiance in its upbeat tempo and horns, as if the band is dancing in spite of the sadness. And sometimes when you're stuck in a low place, that's exactly the energy you need. Not the pressure to be happy, but the encouragement to keep moving anyway. 4. Medicine, James Arthur. James Arthur's Medicine speaks directly to the experience of being on the edge and finding something or someone that helps you hang on. There's a raw honesty in his voice as he recounts how love pulled him back from his lowest moments. It's not a fairy tale. He acknowledges the darkness without flinching, but as the song builds, so does a sense of resilience and rising above it. There's something deeply affirming about hearing someone admit they've been broken, but found something to hold on to. It reminds you that healing doesn't have to look like perfection. Sometimes it's just one more breath, one more step, one more day. 5. I Know the End, Phoebe Bridgers. I Know the End feels like a slow burn of emotion that builds to a stunning, cathartic release. The beginning is subtle, almost detached, like the numbness that comes with long-term emotional fatigue. But as it unfolds, it grows more chaotic, louder, more desperate, until it erupts in a scream that feels like years of pain being exorcised. It's a song about endings, about grief, and about the surreal way that depression distorts our sense of time and self. Listening to it is like walking through a fog and finally finding the clarity to cry. It doesn't promise that things will be okay. It just gives you permission to fall apart, loudly and without shame. 6. 24/7, Kalani. This track by Kalani speaks to the pressure we often feel to be okay all the time, especially in a world that prizes constant positivity. 24/7 is a calm, confessional anthem that says it's okay to not be strong every minute of the day. Kalani shares her struggles with mental health not as a weakness, but as something human and real. Her voice carries both vulnerability and quiet strength, offering reassurance without judgment. For anyone who's ever felt guilty for being sad, or who's tired of pretending everything is fine, this song feels like a gentle nod from someone who gets it. 7. 1-800-273-8255. Logic for Kunin Alessia Karen Khalid. This song, named after the U.S. Suicide Prevention Hotline, tells a story through music that begins in despair and ends in survival. It's structured like a conversation, starting with someone who sees no point in continuing and ending with someone who chooses to stay. The progression is subtle but powerful, and Logic's delivery feels authentic rather than preachy. By the end, there's a sense of life. Not perfect, not easy, but worth fighting for. The inclusion of Alessia Cara and Khalid's vocals adds warmth and hope, turning the track into something like a lifeline. For listeners who are in pain, it can feel like being reminded that you're not alone and that your life matters. 8. Breathe Me. Sia, despite being over 15 years old, Sia's Breathe Me remains one of the most gut-wrenching portrayals of emotional pain ever recorded. It's a plea for help, wrapped in haunting piano and delicate vocals that seem on the verge of breaking. The song doesn't offer hope in the traditional sense. It doesn't resolve or tie things up neatly, but its beauty lies in the way it captures how terrifying and fragile depression can feel. There's something strangely healing about hearing someone else say the things you've been too afraid to say out loud. It allows space for tears, for honesty, for rawness. 9. Demons. Imagine Dragons. This track deals with the internal battles we all fight, even when we hide them from the world. Demons acknowledges the darker parts of ourselves, the ones we don't want others to see, and speaks to the fear that those parts make us unlovable. But by voicing those fears, the song becomes an act of courage. It's a reminder that having darkness inside doesn't make you broken or bad. It makes you human. The powerful vocals and moody instrumentation help channel that emotional weight in a way that feels honest and even empowering. It's the kind of song that meets you in the storm and helps you scream back at it. 10. Rose-Colored Boy. Paramore. In the song Rose-Colored Boy, Paramore addresses the annoyance that comes from being advised to just be happy when one is going through a difficult time. It is a demonstration against poisonous positivity, which is the kind of optimism that requires you to smile even when you are crying. The way that Hayley Williams sings is full of biting and defiance. She does not try to conceal her emotions or pretend that they are more attractive than they actually are. Despite its peppy and appealing nature, there is a core of righteous wrath and emotional honesty hidden behind the pop sheen from this song. This song is a defiant anthem of emotional independence, and it is perfect for anyone who has ever felt as though they were being strangled by the desire to appear okay. These songs don't all offer answers. Some are gentle companions in the dark. Others are battle cries against the weight of depression. What they share is a kind of emotional truth that resonates deeply when you're struggling. They remind us that healing doesn't have to be linear or dramatic. It can be quiet, slow, and deeply personal. Sometimes just hearing someone else name what you're feeling is enough to keep going. And that too is healing. If you like the track list, you can listen to it at the link below. And you can also purchase your music selection in our custom mixtape store. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.